Are you worried about someone, Commander? A friend? Maybe a lover?
He stood with fists balled at his sides, shoulders square, eyes fixed dead ahead.
Man, my brother's a lieutenant on the Padris. Well, on the last report, it took heavy damage. I see.
She poured Hobbs a cup as well, adding soy milk and some sugar. The spoon dinged off the mug as she stirred. When she brought it to him, the man's eyebrows shot up. Surprised that an admiral would serve him coffee, or that she knew how he took it, Talixa decided not to ask. The ability to surprise your crew was always a good thing. It kept them on their toes. Too many questions spoiled the effect. Easing herself into a chair, Talixa cradled her mug in both hands, and she frowned at him.
I understand your concern, but you must realize that we cannot allow personal feelings to influence tactical decisions. Yes, ma'am.
Talixa took a sip, savoring the flavor. Black coffee with a single spoonful of sugar, just enough to ease the bitterness.
I promise you that I will do everything I can to ensure your brother survives. Thank you, ma'am.
Hobbs's tablet buzzed, and he grunted as he checked the report.
The Godrius and the Nightfire have been disabled.
Smiling over her mug, Talixa inhaled the steam.
I think the flavor is right now. Ithran to bridge. Begin phase 2.
And with that, she set down her drink and proceeded through the long hallway that connected to her bridge. She heard the whir of the warp engines before she was even halfway through the corridor. The fleet was already on its way. 60 battle cruisers hiding behind various moons on the outskirts of the Salusian system. They had been waiting here ever since her people captured the planet 5 days ago, remaining at sublight speeds so that they would be invisible to Leyrian sensors. Truth be told, she was glad the Leyrians finally decided to make their move. She had expected some form of retaliation within 24 hours of taking Salus. Her fleet had several weeks' worth of supplies, but the boredom was killing her. The metal door slid open and she stepped onto the bridge. Her officers had all gone to battle stations. A dozen young men and women in gray uniforms sat at computer terminals along the port and starboard walls. There were more in the aft section monitoring ship functions. Talixa's chair was positioned in the middle of the room. She claimed it, crossing one leg over the other, resting her hands on the armrests.
Status report!
3 minutes to target,
Lieutenant Ulrich replied.
Has the enemy responded?
No, ma'am.
Her fleet was approaching Salus from multiple vectors, but space was 3-dimensional, and the Leyrians might plot an escape course that ran perpendicular to the plane of the solar system. They seemed to recognize the futility of that action. However, the closer you got to a massive celestial body, the harder it was to travel at faster than light speeds. Salus was the second planet from its sun, and at that distance, ships were limited to a speed of about 10 C at most. But here in the outer solar system, Talixa's fleet was faster by an order of magnitude. If the Leyrians tried to flee, they would be intercepted with little difficulty. Her ships would have to slow down as they approached the planet. They were as subject to the laws of physics as anyone else. But by then, it would be too late to run. The fat little mouse had taken the cheese, and so the trap was sprung.